Good news, everyone! Finally, for the thank Christ, we have some good news. The die cult is dead.
Oh, really?
Unironically,
Oh, that is good.
it's dying at a rate we never thought possible.
Fantastic.
I'm getting tired of winning in this front. To say
I'm
the
not
least.
getting tired of winning.
Yeah,
I've only
well.
just learned we're winning.
We'll see in a minute. But we'll start off with the Origin of Intersectionality premium podcast on the website, which everyone who isn't subscribed should definitely go and check out and subscribe.
This is where it came from.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you wonder what the die cult is, or why the hell you have a woke department of HR that's fired you for saying that maybe men aren't women, this is why.
Yeah.
Because who would win? The entire Western civilization and canon of thousands of years, or one stupid lady? The stupid lady won, and that's why you're losing your job, bucko. But don't worry, now they're losing their jobs, which is the good news. So we'll start off just
Thank
with
God for an economic downturn.
silver linings, folks. It's all
Every day I pray for a recession, not because I'm going to make money, unlike George Soros.
all the foreigners will leave, and all the die cult will become Serbia, which there's ups and downs. We'll start with the news, which is tech.
Get my harmonica. I know, it's harpsichord, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, tech layoffs are disproportionately hitting HR and die teams. That
Right.
could spell trouble for companies.
I would be very surprised if it spelled trouble for the companies themselves.
No, well, the die companies who have
Oh,
this
right,
as
yeah.
agency work are probably
Right,
going to
yeah.
be pretty hard hit.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Those companies who are essentially paying like a progressive tithe, they're going to do fine. You know.
The church is doing terrible in this economic downturn.
Yeah, exactly.
So tech layoffs are decimating human resources and corporate diversity teams.
Great. Well, that is good news.
F's in the chat, boys.
I like the use of the term decimation as well. It's suitably brutal.
It's, we could go higher though. I mean, like, I don't know what the term is for like 1 in 2 over 1 in 10.
Well, just decimation just came to mean in
Was it?
English, just like gutting, destruction. You know, it's
Yeah, I just said I wanted
Horrific.
to be a Latin nerd, but
Well, yeah, I mean-
maybe the Jacob Rees-Moggs of the chat can let us know. Anyway, when Stripe and Meta announced job cuts earlier this month, affecting 14% and 13% of their workforce.
Right, yeah.
Slash it.
yeah. It's a good start. But Elon got rid of 50%.
Let's make it around 20 at least. Come on. I love Ron. Anyway, respectively, they noted that layoffs would disproportionately affect recruiting because neither company plans to hire much next year. Amazon, which plans to axe around 10,000 workers,
Right.
reported the same on Monday. This is slightly worrying. I mean, from Meta and Warner, who cares?
Yeah, no, social media is... bleh.
Yeah, with Amazon, I'm a little bit worried because it is representative of just the lack of economic activity.
That's probably 90% of the UK economy at this
Yeah,
point. So,
there's no parcels to ship, then things are going south. Anyway, but otherwise, I mean, they do actually have a huge section of dye as well in Amazon. I should have brought it up, but there is a link I found recently that I spoke about where they have a fat inclusion network.
so is Amazon axing 10,000 workers?
Fatties.
No, well, diversity hires, I was thinking.
No, but they-
Bezos is just stalking through. Weigh yourself. Get on these scales.
I mean, we could dream.
I guess,
But
yeah.
I think it's called the
He has been
Bosity.
working out a lot, hasn't he? You know,
It's called like the Bosity Inclusivity Network or some
Jeff
crap like
Bezos
that.
openly fat phobic.
Well, they've got like the Black Network and then the Alphabet Network and then the usuals, and then just Amazon specifically has the like body inclusivity one, and it's just like I watched the like promo videos they have in the company, right? And it's all just like really fat women talking about how chairs aren't designed for them. I'm not joking. Maybe I should have got it. I don't have it to hand, but
Chairs are designed for normal size humans.
yeah, and ironically, they were complaining that what was it like cinemas and airplanes aren't designed for some people, and this is discrimination against lifestyles.
I have to explain to them that these things were designed in like the 60s.
Yeah, this is for a human, not cow. And so, anyway, at Lyft, which cut 13% of its workforce earlier this November, it's good to note, which is that this is all the tech companies, which really sets the pace for everyone else. One employee of the diversity and inclusion team said most of her department had been cut off, including her. Get your violin,
Yeah,
lads.
tiny violin.
I love it. She's doing the interview. She's like, most of my team are gone, and me. Oh,
Good.
well, let's round it up to 100%.
Yeah.
That's stopping you. Similarly, Twitter, now owned by Elon Musk, saw its die team evaporate.
Yep.
Love the language. Almost overnight. Twitter's chief
I think
diversity
liquidate
officer.
would have been a more impactful statement.
Yeah.
Impactful word to use.
I mean, for those Soviets as well, they should get used to that word.
Liquidating them.
You know about the guys who went into Chernobyl after it went
Only
bad?
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone that went into Chernobyl to deal with the problem, they were called liquidators in Russian.
That's gross.
They also got liquidated.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Twitter chief of diversity officers, Dahlia Brand, resigned within hours of Musk's acquisition. So, I mean, technically, the trash took itself out.
Yeah.
And employees reported that the company has been dissolving its employee resource groups.
I'm going to be covering this on Monday, and I've got a New York Times article where they're like, we reached out for Twitter to comment, but we didn't receive a reply because Twitter no longer has a communications department. Brilliant.
Well, we're no longer going to talk to corporate journalists. Well, that's getting axed.
That's money saved, isn't it? You know?
The whittling of talent-focused functions, as if that's...
Yeah. And there's a lot of talent involved here, Callum.
What's your job?
I'm black.
A pandemic management specialist. I clean the toilet. I mean, that really is dressing up your job.
I'm representing the Hispanic community.
Talent-focused function right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, human capital investments do not provide an easily visible bottom-line return. Because they don't. Especially for consumer tech companies, which prioritize engineering, research, and development. Yeah, it's just... I love how they try to write this as a dig, and it's just like, yeah, they value things.
They're tech companies.
Even with pledges and recognition that the people's experience matters, HR and DI are often seen as pure overheads.
That's because they don't add anything to the financial health of the company.
Like, at least HR does something. DI does nothing.
We covered this. We did this thing where it's the Christian tithe on the guilds.
Yeah.
Basically, it's exactly the same thing.
Stakeholder capitalism.
Yeah.
It is literally just like, I have to pay this to the stakeholder. Who's the stakeholder?
The guild master, basically.
The brown race. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. Anyway, but they say in here it's usually seen as pure overhead and perhaps a little bit distant from the profit-making engine, says Julie, who's just lost her job.
Distant from the profit-making engine.
She's the chief diversity officer and management at consulting firm Bain. Which,
but isn't that interesting? Perhaps a little bit distant from the profit-making engine.
just a little bit.
Makes you sound kind of like a parasite.
Sounds like. But experts caution that this line of thinking is short-sighted.
That's a good thing I don't care what experts say.
The expert parasites say that
Yeah, exactly.
the market ebbs and flows when the company recovers. Companies that make deep cuts to recruitment or die will scramble to rebuild those teams and catch up their talent initiatives. Why? Why would they?
But hang on, no, let's assume they do. Okay, let's assume they do. So what? Like, the profit-making engine has been left untouched. They'll scramble to make those teams up. It's like, what, to regain as many parasites as they had before?
Well, it's 2 years without parasites.
I guess.
You no longer have worms.
Yeah, you have to scramble to make up.
Why shouldn't you just have intestinal worms all your life? why not get rid of it for 2 years? Early cuts to the talent operations. And by the way, I'm not talking about the people here. I'm talking about the apparatus, YouTube, if for no one else. It's just like you're literally stealing money and doing nothing in return.
It's the ideology and the sort of organization of it that's the problem.
Early cuts to talent operations can also be set an alarming precedent. Tech companies are tastemakers for the future and work of all corporate culture. And this is where like we can really
And they're nosediving.
pop the champagne, lads.
Yeah.
Because she's right on this, which is that, yeah, they are the forefront of the entire Western's corporate world. And if they're killing the DI teams, oh boy. Facebook, Google, and Microsoft made sizable diversity pledges in the wake of George Floyd's murder last spring in 2022. The sudden reversal from the DI and HR work in dropping related initiatives and cutting of staff could inspire other industries to do the same.
God, come on.
Champagne. If what tech is doing is where everyone is headed, this can be scary for people who care about workplaces that are intentionally striving to create dynamic and conditions where humans and all different types can thrive, says Heidi Brooks, Senior Lecturer of Organizational Behavior and recent unemployed person.
Right, okay, so no, but this is fantastic, because what they're saying here is the intersectional parasites who have latched on like lampreys onto the side of the big productive corporations.
Give us money and we'll measure the brown people.
Exactly.
Like, well, that doesn't make money.
But it's all leftist ideology. You know, the leftist ideologists are getting cut out of these corporations because they are removed from the profit-making engine of the corporation. And they're like, well, hang on a second. Our ideology isn't going to survive if it's not being paid for by these people with guilt-tripped into giving us jobs. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, but the economy won't support that anymore, so bye. That's great news.
Like
This is actually really great news.
your civic religion
Yeah.
was literally just a privilege.
yeah, and it was being paid for by everyone else.
Yeah. It can take years to change a company's culture, she whines. And given that most companies make die commitments just 2 years ago, employees in culture change jobs,
Culture change jobs. That's very interesting.
commissars,
Yeah.
were just beginning to get their footing. Just 2 more years, bro, and we'll make everything
Oh
inclusive,
no! So
bro.
what you're saying is we didn't have the tendrils in deep enough, and now we're being pulled out, and it's just going to go back to how it was.
So
Great.
like, we had literally 2 years of you being the commissars in the Great Purge of the West.
Yeah,
And you're like, well, I just need a couple more years.
and then I could have really solidified this.
Quote, I would expect they feel pretty undermined and concerned, having not yet had the
I can't believe
time.
we don't have champagne for this segment.
We should have. To produce real culture change, says Brooks.
Great.
Just another 2 more years, just another 10 years in Afghanistan where they
Piss
would
off,
become...
communist! Just piss off!
Our ideology would have worked, I
You
swear.
absolute parasites.
The slashing of HR and die as companies tighten their belts isn't a widespread phenomenon yet. Evelyn Carter, president of diversity consulting firm Paradigm, says... Well, she's literally trying to...
Diversity consulting firm. Just what? I need some consultation. What about diversity? Yeah, okay, get more Browns.
Oh, really? I hadn't thought of that. Well, it's good. It's a good thing Paradigm are
5
here.
million now, please. Like, it's just
Money, please.
yeah.
She says the organisation has met with 100 wealth management companies interested in DIE. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep calling it DIE because that is what it is.
Yeah,
and
it
also just... What a world. What a world. Like, I've met with 100 wealth management companies that want to die. That's my job. Anyway, consulting the same week, Meta announced all its layoff. Organisations cutting their DIE teams will find it a mistake.
What I love
she
about
says.
this kind of Christian apocalyptic thinking here. It's like, well, you can sin if you like, but God will punish you in heaven. You'll find it a mistake in the future, the mysterious future that'll probably never come to pass. Just saying.
This person doesn't make it as clear as the following article I'm going to go into.
Oh, really?
That Christian, like,
Yeah.
really? You're not going to pray to God
Yeah.
this week? No donations?
You're not worried about going to hell, your eternal soul.
Intersectional hell. Anyway, but we have Brooks here who's whining that, oh, it's not happening. Yeah, everything's fine, actually. Yeah, this is her. Real time. Just in case you're wondering. It's just an artist rendition. Anyway, there's lots of this pleading. I found endless articles about this, but I'll take the next one because I think it is also just the best. This is from Harvard Business Review, who say, don't let layoffs undermine your DIE efforts.
Why?
What's really important? Money or religion? And for these people, it's their religion. How leaders and their companies navigate the economic downturn in the coming year speaks volumes. Just you can feel the salt.
Is it the white supremacy reasserting itself?
Yeah, but I love how you can sit and be like, "You're all racist because you're firing us." I can't believe you do this. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I will.
I'm surprised it happened too, to be honest.
Yeah, but it does. I mean, determine who stock you should buy for sure. I mean, if they're not cutting these people, then well, they're going under.
Yeah.
76% of job seekers and employees consider diversity and inclusion when sizing up potential employers, she says.
Oh yeah.
I think they're probably sizing up the company of, will I be fired for not becoming retarded on purpose?
Do I fit any of their categories?
Well, no, I mean, it's even if you don't fit the categories. Like, now you have to believe a load of nonsense.
Wow, yeah.
So I don't really want to
Yeah.
work somewhere where I have to do that.
What was the Sam Bankman-Fried guy who recently just was doing some sort of Twitter DM interview with like a journo, and the journo just published the DMs, and he's like, yeah, well, we all lie about the woke shibboleths in order to make everyone like us, and so we get into the club. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's all a big lie.
I
We
mean-
all know it's a big lie.
This is like the Catholic Church before the schism.
Yeah.
Like, you're just openly selling indulgences. That's all you do. Savvy companies need to embed DIE in every stage of their employee life cycle. I love how they talk about it as like, well, bugs.
Yeah.
including separations. She writes, a company that has invested time, money, and effort into building an inclusive culture does not want to have its employer brand story compromised.
Oh, not my employer brand story.
No, but a threat is all that is. You don't want to have it compromised, do you?
I'll go on Twitter. I'll say you were a racist.
You have no power here anymore. And more
Especially as
importantly,
Twitter's going down.
yeah, the last thing a company genuinely committed to inclusion wants is to communicate is that its leadership targets marginalized talent in the layoff process.
Is it, though?
But they're still talking like the mob.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to harm us, and we'll take you down.
You don't want it communicated that you're targeting marginalised people.
Be a shame if something would have happened.
Exactly. It'd be a shame if someone
company.
posted that on social media, wouldn't it?
She says, considering demographics when determining which roles to eliminate.
When was the last time you watched Fight Club?
I don't think I have, actually. Still never got around to it.
Oh my god. Okay, don't worry. The reference will be lost on you.
But just the point here of like...
How have you not watched Fight Club? Consumers.
Other things to do. But she says that we should start eliminating people based on demographics. So we know where this is going.
Yeah.
If you recently hired diverse talent to increase your pipeline... I just can't get over that. Yuckmugamer sounds human compared to this crap. And then decide on the last hired, first fired policy, you're likely to disproportionately impact women and people of colour.
That's so revealing. That is so revealing, isn't it? It's like, well, look, the financial engine, the economic engine of the company are the oldest people. And who are they? Well, they're going to be mostly white men.
The company was successful until we did something. Something happened in the 1990s. And then the company became unsuccessful. So we're firing all the people that made it unsuccessful. Oh my god, that affects women and people.
And that
of
means
colour.
we're racist and sexist.
Yeah, Netflix found this out. Netflix recently took this approach and was rightly criticised when it came to light that they were reducing many workers with marginalised identities. So there's no money being made anymore.
But the skinny white tech nerds, they're just fine.
No. We recently consulted with a startup that tried to be fair when it conducted its layoffs.
Oh, yeah.
This is a beautiful story.
Oh.
Rather than making decisions at the top, company leaders delegated the decisions to whom to lay off to managers in an effort to empower them. We're not going to,
God, that
upon
sounds
high...
like passing the buck, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, number one is lack of duty.
Yeah.
But they wanted to, they listed it as in, it's like, well, upon high, we would just fire brown people because we're all racist and disconnected. So we've handed it off to the managers who are not racist. Yeah. We've given them anti-racist training. The net result, she asks, the layoff list included a significant number of employees of colour. The leaders were astonished when they discovered why. Within each group, the numbers weren't skewed, but they added up across the organisation, and the company went from being relatively diverse to increasingly white and male.
Now, all I'm saying is, who's doing all the real work, eh?
I mean,
tell me.
If that's your example of, like, there was a really successful company, it had all these white men, then they diversified, then it became unsuccessful. So they fired all the diversity, and now they're white and male again. Every goddamn time. Like
revealed preferences would indicate that certain demographics are doing more work than others.
It's just it seems to be the case from every HR department in America. So the solution is that data is wrong.
The solution is you're a racist.
Yeah. Anyway, so she then goes on to say that we should design inclusive severance packages.
Oh, brilliant.
So
of course we should.
I've had enough.
Yeah,
on from that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll go to Elon having fun as well. This is an article from the New York Times, so I don't know if this is your one that you mentioned. But there's a quote in here that's really relevant to what I'm saying, which is, quote, Twitter executives during the layoffs also suggested addressing the lists for diversity and inclusion initiatives so that cuts would not hit people of colour disproportionately and to avoid legal trouble. Threats from the mob.
And Elon Musk was like, I'm from South Africa.
Yes. Mr. Musk's team brushed aside the accusation. Get
Where's
lost,
my
losers.
emerald mind?
I'm not interested. We tried that. Mugabe, not successful, turns out. Anyway, we've seen North, this African American says. We'll get to the next one here as well, because amazingly, the people who specialise in 97 genders, aren't very useful.
Really?
This is from Libs of TikTok. We're just including some other stuff in relation to diversity inclusion, just to get a sense of what we're cutting, what we're losing out on.
I can't believe this was so distant from the financial engine of the company.
Oh, I didn't include this because there's a graph showing how many jobs have been laid off in tech. It's 50,000 this year alone.
Excellent.
50,000.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, onto code. So let's take a look at this. So the application for transgender San Francisco residents to receive guaranteed income has 97 gender options. Right, it's Libs of TikTok, and if you click on the left one, you can see it there. It's all blurry, probably for people at home, because there's just so goddamn many. If you scroll down, there's some more tweets from her, where she says, these are all the pronoun options for the new government program as well. There you are. We have she, her, hers, he, him, his. All right, those are the pronouns.
No pronouns, just name.
They, them, theirs, so we're into schizophrenia already. It, is, cos,
and then
z,
it's
zim,
just
zer.
not listed at the bottom. So you could have just skipped all of that and just had not listed. Here's the...
Well, I don't want to miss anyone. It would be rude. So, these is...
It's.
I am hers, am is, pers, fers.
Okay, all of the made-up ones, who cares about those? Right?
My
It's
mo.
the thing. Like reducing yourself literally to a non-living object.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's way weirder than making up EMers.
Yeah, but, okay...
I mean, it's all...
Making up make-believe ones, fine. You know, it's
really?
It's stupid and childish, right? But to literally dehumanize yourself into an inanimate object...
I respect that.
Oh, okay.
That's some honesty.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm literally an NPC that gets programmed. You just call me it.
Yeah. I got nothing against that. Keep it up. That should be the three options,
that's
frankly.
just so awful.
Are you
That's
a him,
so
her, or
awful.
an it? There you are.
Yeah.
That would simplify it. That's not the worst one, though. I don't know if you saw it. Matt Walsh put out the you can identify as F-sexual is what I'm gonna call it. Yeah. It rhymes with
Yeah. Well, it's a
Laggett.
bundle of sticks sexual.
Yeah. This is real. Yeah, you can go check out yourself. If you're signing up for government welfare in San Francisco, you can identify as F-sexual.
God, there are sometimes I do wish I lived in San Francisco.
Come on, the people who
I'd
program
have such a
that.
funny profile. Like so many gamer words.
But you know when you're watching TV adverts or like even YouTube adverts, and you don't think about it, but like someone had to sit down and actually make what you're watching.
Yeah.
And like it's a team of people that thought about it. And then when you watch TV adverts, you know how it's like you think it's a random order made by a computer. No, someone actually had to sit and stitch together each one of those in an order, then schedule them for each day on each channels.
Yeah.
Like it's a person's job. And you think like a human being sat down and wrote all of this.
How many F-sexual people do we have?
I don't know, but someone got paid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Probably a team of people, and they've now all lost their jobs. Cool. Anyway,
BDSM is a sexual orientation. No, it's not.
I'm
That's
leather
not what
sexual.
that is.
Is the man in the dog suit is telling you, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
But a sexual orientation is which gender are you attracted to? And BDSM is not a gender.
dyke sexual? Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose that vaguely
Does
makes
it?
sense.
I think that's a subsection of the lesbian community.
Yeah, so it's very specific, but at least it refers to a kind of a gender.
But I mean, either way, I mean, this is what the West has occupied itself with. I mean, when we talk about the West, I keep making this point because it's just true, and I need more of the writers to accept it, which is you think of the West, oh, yes, free speech and liberty and liberalism. No, that's on God. It's this crap.
Yeah.
And when you think of the West, I mean, like, we run on a private company basis, as in, like, that's how our world is orientated because we live in the real world, not communism, at least. And, well, the major tech companies, this is their bread and butter. This is what the West
That's
looks
what they
like
do all day, every day.
to the entire foreigners
Yeah.
of the globe. And we're keeping it up because we're all going to Qatar, lads.
Well, one thing just before we go on is just to remember, right? Elon walked in and on day one fired half the company and the service didn't change.
No, I've not really had any difference.
No.
The verified check marks, even though it includes complete randos, are just as retarded as ever.
Yeah, but the service was exactly the same.
Yeah. But I mean, you've seen some of the verifieds being like, oh, the service is worse now. The verifieds are more messy. And it's like, you're all idiots anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, but yeah.
Like-
I've seen them complaining about that, but that's not the same thing. Like the your
Well, it's the only thing
ability.
that's changed.
Yeah, but the ability to access the service has been completely the same. It's just carried on as normal, and half the people are no longer there.
Yeah.
Which shows they were not necessary in any way, shape, or form for the running of the company.
But that's what I mean. Like, the only, like, zero has changed except that verified service.
Yeah.
And even that's changed nothing.
Yes.
I mean, in real terms.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go to Qatar because we are taking our ideology abroad. Oh, sorry, just to mention as well, some breaking fake news. Study shows that kids who are homeschooled could miss out on an opportunity to become a gay communist.
That is true.
Bringing the real news, Babylon Bee. Anyway, we'll go to the Daily Mail with Qatar because we're bringing it over there. There you have it. It's 0-1 to the Germans already.
Yeah, I was going to cover this on Monday as well.
3 Lions Pride logo on the World Cup plane is dwarfed by Germany's diversity wins embezzled on their plane.
Except when it doesn't win.
I mean, the Western nations are currently having a dick measuring contest
About who's the gayest.
Yeah, I mean, who's the most intersectional? It's got nothing to do with even being gay. That's the thing. And we'll go to the UK with our entrance. Come on, boys. Where's the gay? Find it. This is a pretty hard one. This is a Spot Waldo situation. Wally. Can you see it?
I can't see it.
Was the word rainbow at the end
Well, I guess-
separated
yeah,
by
there's-
space because we
there's
wouldn't want to
that.
be offensive to our Arab hosts.
Yeah.
On his
I
on
don't think
his,
rainbows are actually offensive to Arabs.
no, but it's subversive. Like,
Oh,
it's done on purpose. On his shoes, there's a little stripe,
Oh, I can't see
like
it.
a Nike stripe.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
literally impossible to see.
Little rainbow stripe. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll show 'em.
so that's our effort. Poor
Germany's
show.
got one up that.
Oh yeah. We also had something else though. If you go to the next one here, we have some armbands. Of course, the fake intersectional armbands to be worn, like Nazi armbands, but yeah.
Yep.
We can't wear the real ones because they're banned by the Arabs.
Good.
Shame. We'll go to the Yankees. The Yankees have a very good entrance, which is they redesigned their logo, of
How
course.
embarrassing is this?
They include black and brown people of
Like-
color.
All I'm seeing is swastikas. That's all I'm seeing with this.
Yeah, well, it's entirely political, as we mentioned. I mean, go and check out the intersectional podcast if you don't know what we're talking about. It's 100%. But Germany did win. They went all out. You go to the next one here. Just look at it. Diversity wins, written in English. Not in German.
Yeah. Or in Arabic.
No, and then a selection of
Who
people
are they
of
virtue signaling to?
various ethnic groups. I don't know how many Germans, but all holding
A
arms.
couple?
Yeah, there you are.
What an embarrassment. What a terrible embarrassment that is.
It's just okay, Germany. Like I know you're sorry for the genocide, but I mean, you've done enough. I feel, frankly.
What have the
at this point.
Africans got to do with it?
Well, quite a few on your side, actually, but we'll hide those photos. Anyway, I'm just glad that all of this is dying, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, on the government front, it's still there, but on the private sector front, I mean, the religion's dead, and presumably it will extend to the government eventually. So, good news, lads.
Fingers crossed.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium videos we do, this one on the psychology of the Silence of the Lambs. And if you'd like to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.